Hi, I'm Leslie LaPlace. I'm the fitness manager here at Goodwin House, Alexandria. Today I'm going to go over some exercises that you can do in your home with no equipment, maybe just using a chair for balance if you need it. These exercises will help strengthen your legs. I'm also going to go over some stretches that you can do to help keep the muscles nice and flexible, and that's only going to help you with any tightness so that you have more mobility. Please make sure that you continue to read the anatomy series as I'm working my way up the body, and there'll probably be more exercises to come. So to start, I'm going to go over squats. Squats you can do either with or without a chair, and I will go through both options for you. So depending upon your comfort level, you can use a chair or you can just use your body weight. And you can always do these right behind a chair as well for stability. So we want to have our legs about hip width apart and our feet going forward into the room. Now, everybody is a little bit different in their flexibility and their mobility. And so you may find that your feet don't go forward very well, or you've got tightness or something going on in your hips, so your feet may turn out. What's important is that your knees should always follow your toes. So your knees should always track over the feet. You don't want your knees going in or out side of where the feet are. So regardless of where your feet might be pointing, your knees need to go in that same direction. Think of trying to keep the knees over the laces of your shoes, if you've got shoes with laces. The other important thing to remember is that we don't start a squat with our knees. So often I see people do squats, they just start bending the knees. This is about pushing the hips back. You want to think about a wall or even a chair behind you and thinking of pushing your hips towards that object. When you begin your squat, you're going to start with that hip going back, pushing your hips back, and you're going to lower down. Again, this is going to be where it's comfortable for you. Everybody's different with their flexibility, any pain they may have, and you're going to come down. You want your abs nice and tight, supporting your lower back, and then you want to keep your heels down on the ground. You're going to push those feet into the floor as hard as possible, squeeze your glutes, and stand up. So that's from the side. From the front, again, this way you can see my knees. We're going to come down. My knees should be going straight over my feet. My knees are not in here, inside. They're not outside. My knees are straight, keeping the chest lifted. And then I'm going to stand up using a chair. You could use the chair as kind of a measure. You can come down to the chair and stand right up again. And you're just going to sit right down on the edge, push your feet up as hard as you can, push your feet into the floor as hard as you can, and stand up. Always think of squeezing those glutes. If you need a little bit more assistance, you can put your hands on the arms of the chair and give a light push and stand up. Okay? Remember to breathe. I would say do 10 to 15 of those. The next one are going to be lunges. And again, make sure you have something stable nearby since you'll be in a little bit unstable position. I'm going to do a kind of a split lunge where you'll stay in one position and just go up and down. And this is really good, again, for strengthening the legs. From the side, and then I'll do from the front, you're going to take one leg back. Now you want to take that leg back wide enough so that when you start to come down, because you're going to bend this back knee, your front knee is able to stay behind the top of your toes of that forward foot. We do not want your knee in the front to come down. As you can see, my knee is way out past the tops of my toes. So we want to have our back leg back far enough. Now we're going to come down, dropping the back knee first. The heel can be up. We're going to just come straight down. This knee is going to stay somewhat over your ankle, maybe a little forward, but not past the tips of the toes. I'm keeping my body upright. We don't want to fall forward. So we want to come straight down, and then we're going to push this forward foot into the floor as hard as we can and come up. You're going to feel that in the back of that leg. You're going to also be working those quadriceps. So from the front, I'm going to switch legs here. From the front, remember you're taking that back leg behind you. Try to get as wide as you can. You can have it out a little further. That's going to give you a little bit more stability. The narrower your stance, a little bit more instability. And then you're just going to drop the back knee. Start your lunge with the back knee bending. That front knee will bend as well. Keep your knee straight over your laces. Push your foot into the floor as hard as you can and come up. Abs are tight. Keep your chest lifted and breathe. Next is going to be a side leg lift. And here you can just get right behind a chair. You're going to stand up nice and straight. And I always recommend that you use the least amount of assistance as is safe for you as far as balance. So you can stand and just have maybe a fingertip or two, or maybe lightly, the fingertips are lightly on the back of the chair, or you can just hover your hands over the chair and touch down when you need a little stability. So now you're working not only your legs, but a little bit of balance as well. I always try to work in some balance when I can. Standing up nice and straight, I'm going to come out to the side a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Keeping your foot in going forward, we don't want to rotate it out to the side. Think of lifting through the heel. We're going to lift the leg up and then bring it down, always with control. So we don't want to just go like this really fast, okay? Now you're using momentum. We want to work those muscles in our hips and part of our glutes. We're going to stand up straight and lift and lower. Notice that I'm not leaning to the side as I do this, all right? I'm standing up straight, I'm lifting, and I'm lowering. And I'm doing it with control. So a nice, steady movement. You can even count 1, 2, 1, 2, and bringing it down. Think of lifting through that heel. You're going to do 10 to 15 on one side, 10 to 15 on the other. And if you need to do this in a chair, if it's really hard for you to stand, you can sit on the edge of your seat. A couple ways you can do it is you can have one leg out and you're just going to take it out and in. It's a little hard because you got to lift, you have to keep that whole leg up, or you're going to just move the leg out to the side like this. But notice as I do that, my knee and foot are moving together. So I'm not tapping out to the side like this. I'm lifting the whole leg, taking it out to the side. Now I'm using my hip muscles to lift the leg and take it out. Again, knee and foot move together. leg lifts. Again, you can use your chair for balance. And we're just going to take one leg out. When I stand, I like to have my standing leg or the knee a little flexed. I call it a little soft, so it's a little soft. And we're just going to lift the leg up and then lower. Now you can keep the foot from touching all the way down. Now you're working your balance a little bit more. You're going to lift and lower. I like to flex my foot here, so push through the heel. The other thing is, as you lift that leg and lower, your abs are tightening. You want to pull that belly button in and then relax. So that's helping to protect that lower back as you lift your leg and giving you a nice little core squeeze as well. So working that core and lifting and lowering, and lift and lower. Okay? So deep breath in and out. And now we're going to work the hamstrings, the back of the leg. Standing with your chair, same thing. You can stand behind the chair, use your fingertips if you can, or just hover using the chair when you need to. The leg is going to come back. I like to keep my leg up off the floor. Again, my standing knee is a little flexed, a little soft, and I'm going to flex my back foot, so I'm pushing through the heel. And this is all about trying to bring your heel up towards your bum and then down. So keeping that leg up off the ground, you're going to lift and lower. Good. So we're squeezing the back of the leg. You should feel the muscles in the back of your upper leg, of your back of your thigh. These are your hamstrings. And for a lot of us, these tend to be not only tight, but they can be weak as well. Good. And shake it out. All right. Last one. And these exercises for the ankles and the calves also relate to the first article in the anatomy series on the foot and ankle complex. So we're going to, again, standing behind the chair, we're going to go up on our toes, lifting our heels, pause, and then down. So this is another good balance opportunity, an opportunity to practice our balance, going up on our toes. And then you can do, again, you'll do 10 to 15. Then you're going to lift the toes and go back on the heels. And this definitely will challenge your balance because your weight's going to shift back a little. And you're going to just lift those toes. Now, you can, I like to do these with on one leg, especially the heel raises on one leg. So you can also just do one leg at a time if you want. All right, so those are some leg strengthening exercises that you can do. And the other thing I want to go over are some stretches to do. The first one is going to, again, this is going to be for the calf muscle. This is going to be the back of that lower leg. And this will also help the foot and ankle area as well, and keeping your ankles mobile and flexible. So I'm going to go, I'll just use the chair here. You're going to step back with the leg. Again, nice big step back. Heel down. I like to have my toes all going in one direction. And you're going to just hinge forward. You're going to lean forward a little bit, keeping this knee over the ankle, and the back heel is going to push into the floor, down into the floor. So I'm going to go over some of the stretches that you can do standing, and then I'm going to do the same stretches in a chair. So if you need to stay seated, you can get some of the same benefits from being in the chair. So you're pushing down. You can slightly bend your knee and then straighten. And bend your knee and straighten, making sure that you don't move your body up and down. Notice that my body stays still, and I'm just bending the knee and straightening. Okay, so that's the calf. Now I'm going to turn forward. We're staying in this position. You're going to bring your body upright, and we're going to push forward. So pushing that hip forward. I'm going to turn again to the side, but I want you to see that I'm keeping this knee straight ahead. It's right over my foot, and when I look at my knee, it's covering my laces, and my body is up nice and straight, and I'm pushing forward. Pushing that hip forward. You're going to feel a nice stretch in the front of your hips, down into the quads. So stay in this position. You can see I'm up nice and straight and I'm pushing forward. Knee is over the ankle. Now, to really hit these quads, the top of your thigh, we're going to bend the knee, come down, kind of tuck your pelvis under a little bit. So think of pulling your belly button in, pushing your back a little bit backwards, and that's just going to take your hips and slightly tilt them under with your knee pointing to the floor. You're going to feel that stretch go down the top of the quads a little bit more and extend. Okay, you can do it again. Come down and extend. Some people have the flexibility and they can grab their ankle and stand up and pull the leg back. But you need to keep your knees side by side, not way out here. And this is, for a lot of people, it's very difficult to do. Okay, so how are we going to do these? And then hamstrings. Taking that foot out in front, heel down, toes up, go from the side, sit in your hips back, like you're sitting in a chair. The weight goes towards that back foot. Heel down. You're going to lift your toes up and start pulling those toes towards you. Feeling that stretch go all the way up the back of the leg. If you want, you can even reach, but make sure you're not bending your back. You're hinging at the hips. So your abs are tight here. That's supporting your lower back. And you don't have to touch, just reaching is going to make that, it's just going to make that stretch a little deeper. All right? Okay, so sitting in the chair, let's start with the calf muscle. We're going to sit on the edge of our seat, and our leg is going to come out in front, and the heel is down and the toes are up, and we're just pulling our toes towards us. Now, if you have a strap or a band or an old belt or a towel, you can put that underneath. I didn't bring one, but you can put that underneath your foot and just pull your toes towards you. Okay? But you can certainly do this without using any piece of equipment. So just pulling your toes towards you, you're feeling that stretch in the back of the lower leg in your calf area. Now we're going to sit up straight, take a deep breath in, and we're going to hinge forward. Keep pulling your toes towards you, and you can reach with one arm or both. And you're going to feel that stretch. Now, if that's really too hard to reach with your hand, just coming forward, you're going to start to feel that stretch go up the back of your leg and into the hamstrings. And you're going to breathe and then release. You want to hold these stretches for about 20 to 30 seconds if you can. Okay, so we don't want to just come forward and up and do the other side. For the stretches, you could do it 2 to 3 times on each side to hit the to get the quads, the top of the thigh, your quadriceps, and your hip flexors. Now we're going to turn to the side of the chair, and you'll have to do it on both sides. You're going to drop that outside leg. Now it's better if you have a chair that does not have arms so that your inside leg can actually come over the seat a little bit more. This knee drops, the outside knee drops down. You're sitting up nice and straight. You can use the arms or the back of the chair for stability. And we just want to try to pull this back a little bit and sit up straight. Think of pushing this hip forward. You feel a nice little stretch through the front of the hips and going down the thigh. So you can push forward a little bit. And then, so these are your exercises in the chair. And after viewing this, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to contact me at Goodwin House Alexandria. Thank you for reading the article, thank you for looking at the video, and have a great day.